proceeds of today's program, I would like to congratulate all the people who are here online right now, because I understand that you people are really serious about your own selves and what you want to do in your life. Quickly, a couple of minutes, I think I will probably share my screen, my own video, while really congratulating you, because it takes some substance from you from inside for being able to be on a program like this and looking at what you can get out of it, right? So amazing, all the people. I think there are about 32 participants I can see. Amazing, you've really come on, joined this event because you care for yourself. And I would really be surprised if you do not do something really good in your life. So that's my compliments to you. Now, while I do this program, please understand one important thing, that I, as a coach, might be a bit harsher at times, right? I'm not a trainer, I'm not a teacher, I'm a coach. So coaches are pretty harsh sometimes. So if there's something which I say which probably doesn't align with your values or sometimes hurts you, just put that aside and take the message, because the message is going to be important for you, right? The most important thing in life which God has given us is the power of intentions. So have your intentions clear. Do not come here and join to test me out or to test this platform out. That's not the right intention, right? Have an intention to make a difference to your own self, because you have one chance in this life. You have one single chance. There's no second chance. So if you're able to do something out of the life which has been awarded, rewarded, and gifted to you, you can be of some value to yourself, your family, and the entire world. So my request is, cleanse your intentions right now. अभी अपने दिल को साफ करें, intentions को clear करें, so that you are able to do something really significant in this 1 hour, because it's your 1 hour. मेरा 1 घंटा मेरा 1 घंटा है, right? I'm going to do my job for this 1 hour. But then at the end of the day, what you are going to do with this 1 hour, what you're going to take away, and how you're going to implement in your life is going to matter. So with that, I'll put down my video, and I will stick to sharing the screen so that I'm completely getting you focused. There's one more request I have. Most of the time when we're on an online program, people tend to multitask. They look at the screen, they sometimes watch, they sometimes do something else. You'll cheat yourself if you do that. The content I'm sharing with you is not a sized content. It's not a size. I've not cut the content out just because it's an online program. I'm being very sincere in offering the content, and it's of very high value. I hope you can make use of it. Don't cheat yourself. Be focused. Be attentive. Completely attentive on this whole the program which has been organized. Let's do justice to it. Let's do justice to the time. Let's do justice to ourselves. Right. So with that, I will cut off my video and I'll keep it focused on the screen. And I invite you to be 100% with whatever you're doing. So Jazakallah khair, and let's move forward. I would request others to keep your the mics in mute state, unless I call for interaction, because it will disturb the others. So let me start off with so whatever I'm going to train you or teach you or coach you on today is not from the book per se, but it has got a lot of absorbs. It has got a lot of stuff. It's got a lot of content which is an outcome of this book, which is titled The Warrior Within You. So I'll be giving you a lot, because in 1 hour you can't do the entire module, but I will be trying to do something which is very significant from the student perspective and human perspective. Uh, so my primary question, and this primary question you and I need to continuously ask: who am I? Who actually am I? Unless until we do not discover the actual identity of our own selves, we will not be able to do justice to ourselves. So there is a beautiful picture here, which you can see on the screen, which shows your point of existence, right? This is inside the womb of your mother, and this is the point when one cell and another cell met for the first time to create you. God allowed this to happen to create you. But what is the significance of this picture? The significance of this picture is that among the millions of cells, there were other millions who were going for this race. It is you and I who won the race. That means out of the millions, we stood first. If we had not come first, it would have been somebody else. It would have been some other soul. It would have been something else. We don't know what that is, right? So the fact, I mean, I want you to be present to this fact, such a powerful fact that I and you, out of the millions of cells, were the only one cell which was destined to become you and me. Wow! Just imagine how special you and I are. So if at all anybody is putting down anybody, it is me. I'm putting down myself. If at all I'm not able to achieve something, that means it's not about the world. It's not about my parents. It's not about my teachers. It's not about the environment. It's not about the college. It's not about the school. It's me. If at all I'm holding myself back, something which is holding myself back, it is all within me. So I need to work inside me, right? So some of the answers which I came up, who am I? If you actually look, who actually you are unique. There is not the second kind of you created in this universe. You're unique, absolutely unique. For example, Amanat Khan is, I can see Amanat Khan, he's only Amanat Khan. There is no second Amanat Khan. Muhammad Ahsan, there is only one Muhammad Ahsan. Rabik, there is only one Rabik. There is not the second. Can you imagine this? In the entire universe, you are unique. Wow. I hope you can realize this. I hope you can absorb the emotion. It's such an important feeling that you are just made like it's a single piece. It's there, you usually come out with these cars which are called limited edition, right? And people pay a very huge extra amount to buy that car. I mean, limited edition maybe 10 piece hote hain, 20 piece hote hain, right? Those are limited editions. Like for example, you come out with an Audi comes out with a limited edition. You have about 10 pieces in the world or 20 pieces in the world. You're more special than that, boss. You're just one. Your fingerprint cannot be replicated. Your retina scan cannot be replicated. And who puts this unique identity down? It's I myself. How? By being very ordinary, by behaving very ordinary, by not realizing the purpose. What is the second thing? You're already a winner. Oh man, you're already a winner. Why do you struggle? Why do you think that you're not? Most of the people say, I can't do this, I can't do that. You won the biggest race out of the millions of cells. You came first, I came first. So I should have an identity of being unique, right? The moment I say unique, what stands out in your mind? Don't compete with others. You're already a winner. Most of us spend a lot of our lives, competing with others. If at all you talk to people who are extraordinary in this world, the Virat Kohlis or the people who have done great in their own spectrum, they are the people. If you ask them how do they work, what's your next goal, they say I want to beat myself. They will never say I want to beat the others. Wow. Extraordinary people compete with themselves. Ordinary people compete with others. Because extraordinary people already believe that I have amazing qualities. I'm a winner already. I can do things which others can't. Third, I am a purpose. Imagine if you stop treating yourself like a teeny weeny human being and say, I am here for a huge purpose, your entire way of life, the way you think, will change. Look at all the prophets, all the extraordinary people. They never thought that they are a small little human. They always thought that I am a big purpose. The creator who made me has made me with a huge purpose. Otherwise, why would he make me? Right? So if I underplay that, I will never be able to achieve my purpose. So I'm I'm reminding you with this slide of the photograph, percepted photograph of you in your mother's womb when you were born, I mean, when you were conceptualized into this reality of this world, you and I are unique, you and I are already winners, and we are here for a purpose. So these three are very important points. As students, we need to know, because you know what, the goals and the way you're going to set up your life right now is going to matter. Beautiful story, always inspires me. There was a kid without his right hand. People who are having their mics on, please mute it. It's creating a lot of disturbance. Kindly mute it. Let my mic be open. If I need interaction, I will tell you to unmute it, right? So this is a fantastic story. This really inspires me all the time. There was a kid without his right hand, and he had this ambition of learning karate. So he wanted to learn karate, and he always used to, aspire. So he went to a master and said, I would like to, learn karate. To the master, ये जो sensei रहते हैं ना karate के, he looked at this boy and he said, told himself, wow man, this guy doesn't have his right hand, how can I teach him karate? So he said, no, I'm sorry, the batch is full, I can't admit you. But this boy was desperate to learn karate. So he kept coming back to the sensei, please give me a chance, please. But the sensei is helpless because he doesn't know how to teach this guy karate. He doesn't have his right hand. So this goes on and on, but the sensei is worried because this boy is very desperate. He sees the passion in his eyes. So the sensei goes back to his master. We all have, every master has a master, right? So he goes back to his master and says, Master, I have a boy who doesn't have a right hand, who comes to me and who is desperate to learn karate. I don't know what to do. So the master is wise enough to tell this person how to mold this young kid, and he sends him back. So next time when the kid comes, this sensei enrolls him into the class and he starts training him. But he pulls him off for the 15% of the class. He pulls him out and does something extra with him. The kid, the boy without the right hand, is quite concerned. Why is he discriminating me? Why is he pulling me off from the batch and giving me some extra work? I don't understand. But he's scared to ask because he's scared whether this fellow, the sensei, will throw him out of the class. So he doesn't ask. So it goes on. Then after some days, as this kid grows, he keeps getting belt after belt, and then the local competition comes up. So the sensei says, you will have to enroll in the competition. The boy comes back and said, Sensei, I didn't come here to compete. I didn't come here to, go and, compete with the world. And moreover, I don't have a right hand. How can I compete? So the sensei says, you never told me this before. But the reason I'm asking you to compete is not to see how powerful you are against the others. My reason to ask you to compete is to know who you are. That's it. So anyway, he forces him to the competition. The competition starts, and the kid finds out that he is automatically, unconsciously using the technique taught in that 15% extra time to overpower the opponent. And he gradually climbs up and comes to the finals. In the finals, there is a person who has been a 6 times champion who initially starts beating up the kid. And meanwhile, as the championship progresses, the opponent is very confident because he has won the last six championships he has won. So he's very confident. So he's beating him up. But you know what happens with people who are confident? They get overconfident, right? So he, at a moment, he gets overconfident, and this kid without the right hand beats him up using the same technique taught in that 15% extra time. So he's observing himself. He's saying, I'm doing this automatically. I'm able to use this katha or this move in that taught in that 15% time and again to win the match. So he wins the championship, he wins the cash prize, and he's going back and he tells his sensei, his master, I was scared. I never asked you this question before. Can you tell me the secret of this 15% extra time you used to take me off and teach me separately? So the master says, son, even I didn't tell you. The story is that when you came to me, I did not know how to teach you. I had to go back to my master, learn, and come back to teach you. And the secret about this katha or this move, the karate move I taught you, is that when you deliver this this blow to the opponent, the only way, listen to this careful, guys and girls. This is very important. This is one of the most important messages you can get out of this my session right now. So, what did the master say? Son, the technique or the blow, when you apply this blow to the opponent, the only way the opponent can save himself is by holding your right hand, and you don't have a right hand. Did you understand? The only way the opponent could save himself is by holding the person who attacks, his right hand. And this boy didn't have a right hand. So he said, the kid was overwhelmed. And for me, this was one of the most beautiful stories I heard, because it made me understand that we all grapple with weaknesses, right? We are all focused on our weaknesses. But if you know that behind, in the shadow of this weakness, there is a very powerful strength available. We have never tried to access that strength. We always focus on the weakness. If you are able to access the strength, you and I can remain to be very powerful, very impactful. So, my request to you is start working on your strengths. Start working on your strength. Your weaknesses will be resolved automatically. I have this very powerful statement. I love this statement very much, and I usually share it with any event I do, any program I do, India, abroad, anywhere in the world. I always share this because I am very passionate about this. I believe it very strongly. I don't care whether you believe it or not, and if you believe it, really, it'll make a big difference to you. So, and I believe this about you. I believe this about myself, and I believe this about you, each one of you there, right? I believe that you and I have been fully loaded, charged, serviced, and enabled people or creation. Every single person born as a human being is gifted. Otherwise, you would have been a stone or a tree or I don't know what. You're a human being. That means you're already gifted. It's a done deal. What's the problem? What's the problem with the world then? Why are people so helter skelter, running around, trying to make things work? In some distress, in anxiety, in anger. And why is it that we are in that state? It's because every single human being is gifted, but not everybody open the package. Just imagine I walk into you have a event at your place. Now, of course, we can't. It's COVID-19. We can't interact. But generally, when there is an event, for example, it's a party at your home, and I come with a big gift. I give you a big box, right, of gift, and you were very happy that Coach Habib came to your house and he gave you a gift, a big box, and then you kept the big box right next to you, and you looked at it every single morning. Wow, what a gift, man! What a box! Any use? Absolutely no use. My job was to come and give you the gift. Your job is to open the gift, right? I will not open it for you. Exactly the same way, God Almighty gives gifts. We are loaded, we are fully loaded. He has given us all the gifts we need for this world, for this life. But your job is to open that gift. Unless you don't open it, you will not know your potential, right? So, what you need to do, you have to go inside you and explore. This journey is not about exploring outside first, it's about exploring inside first. And there you have a lot of work to do. Trust me on this. It will take you 10, 15, 20 years of very solid work to be somebody when you start working inside. Most of the people don't do this. They get caught with the rat race, they start running around, and they don't make anything out of their life. They're of no substance. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, you keep looking at them, they're same or probably deteriorated. They're going down, they're going the negative way, right? So, for example, I gave the package and then you opened the package. You opened this package back at home. Coach Habib gave a big gift, and then you opened the gift, and inside the gift, in the box, you saw a stone. What would you do if you get this kind of a stone, right? What would you do if you get the stone? Think, contemplate. You can open the forum for discussion. What would you do? I mean, imagine Coach Habib came to your one of your party. It would have been a wedding or a birthday. I don't know what it is. And I gifted you a nice box. Box looks good from outside, packed very well. But then in front of the whole world, it looks like a solid box. Wow, Coach Habib gave a very beautiful box. And then next day or that same evening, you open the box and you find a stone inside. What would you do? Anybody answer, please?
What's your question?
So
Hello.
I said, if I gave you a gift, a box, right, and you opened the box and you found a stone inside,
So then
what
I
would you
so
do?
then I so irritated.
You'll get irritated. Okay, that's the choice you made. What else?
So
Anybody else?
I take the opportunity to make what I want out of it.
Okay, good. Yasir, good. You'll try to do something with it. Okay. Anybody else?
Or I can think positive about it.
How? What would you do with it? You're positive, I know, but what would you do with it? Sir, hey, yaar, क्या करेंगे? कल्ले என்ன பண்ண முடியும்?
We will first check whether this stone is a diamond.
All right. Okay. Does it look like a diamond?
I do not know. The right person has to say that. So better
All
to
right.
check.
Okay. Good. That's Sharif, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good. Good analogy. Good. Fantastic. Anybody else? So, how would you check, Sharif, whether it is of value, is it a diamond or whatever it is? How do you check that?
Go to a person who deals with that and then check rather than having assumptions. Better clarify it
No.
because somebody is giving a gift. There has to be something. So if I'm not able to, know it, it's better check with the other person.
Where are you from, Sharif?
I'm from Chennai.
Superb answer, man. In a long time, I've not got a sensible answer like this. Good. Superb. I really appreciate. Right? You said that, but the easiest thing would be to probably call back Coach Habib and ask, Coach, what the hell? Why did you give me this stone? What the hell this stone is all about, right? That's one of the
Absolutely.
ways. One is
Yeah,
go to an expert or ask the person who gave it. Sometimes we have to turn back to God and say, God, please open up something, no, for me. No, we have to do that. While we are putting a little effort, we have to go back and say, you have done something here. We have said, you have sent me for a purpose. Please open it quickly. Open it out. Let me, discover that quickly. Or why have you sent me? Please answer me. Why have you sent me? Right? Or go to people who have somewhere achieved. Like as Sharif said, go to somebody who has achieved. I mean, we don't have this discipline at all. We look at the stone, we say, okay, this is worthless. I mean, we are actually talking about our own selves. I'm worthless. Some people have this statement saying, I'm useless, I'm good for nothing, I'm not, I mean, I can't do much. And why do we do that? Because the environment tells us that. Hey, you're nothing, you're just absolutely of no good use. Or in other terms, they use worse language to address us, right? That's the environment, that's the reality. Anyway, so if you had to call me up and say, Coach, ye kya kar diya yaar, what did you give me, a stone? I would say, Sharif or whoever it is, I would say, hey, this is a beautiful piece of white marble. It's called Makrana marble. It's one of the most expensive marble in the world, right? Just take it to a sculptor and he can do wonders with you. That would be a place where you would, in fact, some people might just throw that stone because they don't find value for it, right? Some people throw themselves off. Some people waste themselves off because they don't know what value they are of, right? If you are able to, seek help from certain experts, they'll be able to mold, they'll be able to chisel. These marble pillars which you're looking on the right side of the screen are marble pillars we export for about 20 lakh rupees each. It's made of 4 pieces, right? It goes for about 20 lakh rupees. When it comes out from the mine, the stones are looking so dirty, insignificant, of no value at all. But there's so much value. You and I are exactly like the stone. We've been sent fully loaded, right? Unless and until we hand ourselves into a disciplined way of working, a person who can actually help us out, a group of people and experts who can help us out, we'll be running a life of a lot of experiments, right? So we shouldn't do that. Another beautiful story to just complement this. So there's this company called FedEx, which is a giant today. About 30 to 40 years ago, this was not as big as a company, and it had a small operations within the US, and they used to do logistics. Then suddenly they decided to go mechanical. Matlab, they want to do mechanize the entire process. They started building conveyor belts. All the parcels which you see, which are coming across on this hanger, are coming on a conveyor belt, and the people who are standing on the left side are sorting them out, right? So they started this. Their business boomed, and they went multifold. Their increment, or the business size increased multifold, and they went into billions of dollars. So when they were doing this, they had to put up hangars across the entire world, distribution hangars, big units, big facilities, which used to sort out these parcels. There was one big main hangar, right, which was sorting out material in large quantity, centralized hangar. One fine morning, the conveyor belt stopped. The conveyor belt stopped. There was panic on the floor. The manager, the general manager, all were worried. They didn't know what's happening. So they went helter skelter. They tried fixing. They called the technical. There were 40 engineers who were taking care of this entire hangar. 40 engineers, right? They went around. They tried to repair. They tried to set. Nothing happened. This business is a dynamic business. The moment it stops, there are losses, right? They cannot afford to stop even an hour. So the losses started mounting. 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, 4 hours. Nothing was happening. The CEO came and he called all the 40 engineers and said, "You guys better fix this, otherwise your jobs are at stake." So everybody was in a panic state. So after discussions, the 40 people suddenly came up with a plan. They said, without anybody's knowledge, let's call up the people who installed this conveyor belt. So they called up the person who installed the conveyor belt and said, "Can you please help us out?" So these were Italians who had installed the conveyor belt. They said, "Don't worry, there is one person in your city. We will send him and he'll rectify it." The 40 engineers were in panic. They said, "Boss, we are 40 engineers. We are trying to fix this from last 4 hours. We're not able to do it. And you say that you're going to send one person and he's going to fix it?" They said, "Don't worry." The Italian said, "Don't worry. This person is going to come and he's going to fix this conveyor belt for you." So they waited. This man walks in, very old man, has a very old toolkit. He comes in, he puts the toolbox on the table. He looks at the 40 people, all the 40 people, we are dead. They're in their minds, they are assuming they are they're finished, man. What is this? This is some old guy has come and I don't know what's going to happen, right? And the old guy turns to the 40 people and says, "Give me the symptoms. Give me the symptoms before this conveyor belt stopped." So all the engineers start telling, this happened, that happened, this was the noise, and this is what happened, and all the description. Suddenly, out of all that, this old man picks up a clue and said, "Oh, I got it." He opens his toolbox, goes through the spanners, picks up one spanner, looks at the side. Spanner has two sides. He flips it, holds it, starts walking the entire floor, goes to the panel board. Panel board has thousands of nuts, bolts, and screws, and he walks across, opens the panels, and then fishes out, and he goes out of all the thousands of screws there. He puts the spanner exactly to one nut. There's one nut. He puts the spanner and tightens it just half a thread. He tightens it only half a thread, and the conveyor belt starts. Everybody is jumping in joy. Everybody is so happy that the whole thing is resolved. Conveyor belt is started again. So he walks back, this man walks back, and he writes a bill. This is about 30 to 40 years back, okay? He writes a check or a bill for 10,000 US dollars. And the CEO gets the bill, and the CEO looks at the bill and he goes wild. He said, "Boss, you just walked in. You spoke to my people, tightened one nut, and you're charging me 10,000 US dollars?" The man, this old man, he looks at the CEO and says, "Sir, sorry, I did not break the bill for you. It's $9,999 to identify the nut, $1 to tighten it." My question to you, right? My question, and I need you to think. You can open the floor for discussion. I want you to think. My question to you is, what was the difference between the 40 engineers and this one engineer? Don't answer, think. Think for 30 seconds. What is the difference between the 40 engineers and this one engineer? And please don't say experience. Anybody who wishes to start discussing can start discussing. What is the difference between the 40 engineers and this one engineer? People who are scared should answer, because most of us are scared of making mistakes. But you know what? God has designed this world for us to make mistakes and learn. So the first step is get rid of this fear of making mistakes. You should make mistakes. You should surge ahead and make mistakes. There's nothing wrong in it.
Hi, this is Sharif here. There is one input what I thought I should share with you.
Yep.
See, before getting into action, he analyzed the situation very well, getting feedbacks from people in and around that, rather than going immediately into action. We normally get into action, but this guy did not get into action, understood the pulse, what's happening, where he started all those things, and through his expertise, understood what exactly is it, and then resolved the issue. This is my humble learning.
What do you do, Sharif?
I'm also a soft skill trainer, by the way.
All right, excellent, very good.
Yeah.
Good analogy. Good answer. I need a little more, because see, why would somebody do this? Why didn't 40 people do it, right? 40 were also engineers. Yeah? FedEx company mein agar somebody has been appointed as an engineer, he must be really good. Those 40 must be really good. But what's the difference between those 40 and this guy? Of course, he did what you said. I agree to that. They did that.
Yeah, I don't know the answer, but I know the coach who knows the answer, Mr. Habib.
Obviously, yaar, come on. I put the question, so I'm really smart enough to know the answer. No big deal about it.
Yeah, very true, very true. That's fun.
Yeah. So anybody else who thinks otherwise,
Hi, coach. This is Abdul Rahman.
Yes, Abdul.
I think
Your connection is quite low.
because the old man had the experience of failures before, and he was able to analyze and quickly. Am I audible now? Hello.
Okay, got that.
Hello.
Yes, got that, Abdul.
Hello?
I heard it.
Am I audible?
Yeah. There was a little delay, but it was okay. We got that. He had experience of failing before and had that to assist him to be able to solve this. Got that. Anybody else?
Hi, this is
Coach
Ibrahim.
Habib, this is.
Yes.
Hello.
Who's this?
This is Khalil.
Yes, Khalil.
Maybe the older man is very much confident about his work, what he is doing.
Mm-hmm. How does that confidence come? Good. You have come to the outcome of his personality.
Maybe that 40 engineers, they don't have any kind of idea or confident, but that old man having very much guts and very much confident about his particular professions.
Good. I mean, you're close by, but I need a very specific answer, because I'm trying to wake this answer inside all of you.
Hi, this is Ibrahim.
Yes, Hassan.
Yes, sir. I myself.
Actually, my suggestion was actually those who are 40 engineers, they are maintaining the system.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a common thing. Those who are maintaining the system, they don't have the knowledge comparing to this people who's been installed that things.
Okay. So what does that show?
The thing is that
Hi,
those
this is
who
Amanat.
install that, they have more knowledge than the people who's maintaining.
Okay. Okay. Tell me, Amanat.
Yes, sir. This sir.
Yeah, he focused in only one thing. That's why he did that one.
He was
From
focused
the
on only
beginning,
one
he
thing.
was totally focused.
Hello, sir. This is
Okay,
Hassan.
That's why.
very close. Okay, Hassan, tell me. Hassan, tell me.
Sir, I think the whole engineers depend upon others, but the old man depend on their skill,
Okay,
and they only think about their target.
okay. I'll give you
Hello.
one thing. Yes, who's this?
Yeah,
Yasir.
this is Tasneem.
Yes, Taslim.
And this old man is trying to find the cause of the problem.
Okay.
And the remaining they were keen in rectifying that without having a deep knowledge on the causes.
How does that deep knowledge come here?
Because
Because
they're
they
working on the same system for multiple projects, so that
What is that called?
they're working experience on the
Mhm.
same system.
Right. Okay.
Practice. He did practice in the same thing.
Okay. Okay. Most of you are very close to the answer, but you're not giving me the actual answer. Probably, see, this could be a breakthrough for you also. If you realize this, for me, it was a breakthrough. So if you realize this aspect of a human being. Now I'm giving you an hypothetical situation. Listen very carefully. Okay. The hypothetical situation is, others please mute your mics now. I'll again ask you to engage whenever it is, right? So I'll give you a hypothetical situation. God forbid somebody in my house falls ill, okay, and they start complaining of chest pain, and I can see them sweating. So what do I do immediately? I would you can answer this question. God forbid somebody has chest pain in the house, and you can see them sweating and they're breathless, and they're asking for help. What do you do?
Just switch on the fan, then give the air to him.
we can
Okay,
use CPR.
okay. Then after
So
that, it's
calm,
not
calm,
CPR.
calm them down for
Okay,
a couple of seconds, and then get back to the health professional who can actually look into the problem.
So who will you go to? You have your family
We'll
doctor.
go to, yes, first start off with the general physician and then go to some specialist if necessary.
Okay, Yasir, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
If he
So
is breathless, like we can give CPR, then call for doctor.
okay.
As it is a
So
first.
the person, yeah, you gave CPR, you put on the fan, all that you did, but the person is in dire pain and you know it is a serious emergency. What would you do?
So take a better way to treat
Yeah.
him.
How?
Sir, like
So,
a heart attack.
You are
calm the
suspecting a heart
situation.
attack, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you will take the person to the closest kidney hospital, right?
Sir, should maybe.
Not for
You will take the person to the closest kidney hospital.
Cardiologist.
no,
will take.
cardio.
No, sir. Heart hospital.
You will go to the
Cardiologist.
absolutely. You go to the cardiologist,
Cardiologist.
right?
Yes, sir.
Great. So you will go to the cardiologist, and then when you enter the hospital, they will say, "This is sending to be a serious heart attack." We have two doctors. One doctor is a regular guy, ordinary guy who you'll have to pay about 50 to 60,000 rupees for his if he has to operate. And we have another person who he is the best in the world. He will charge you about 2 lakhs. Whom would you opt?
To
The
the
best
best.
person,
will
obviously.
So
The
both for
best,
there.
right? You'll opt for the best, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. You wouldn't go to your family doctor at this time. Your family doctor consults you at 400 rupees or 300 rupees per, time. But you will never go there. You will always go to this place, which is
Heart
Special.
specialist.
absolutely specialized. This is the key word I was looking for. A person who decides to specialize can never be discarded in this world. Why we are discarded? Why are we so scared? Because we don't specialize. We don't understand this word specialization. This guy who walked in, he was specialized. He was not an ordinary guy. He was completely specialized in conveyor belts. He was the man for conveyor belts. He was completely specialized. He has no way he can go wrong, right? And You know, the CEO paid him $10,000 after that. He paid him the $10,000 and said, yeah, boss, hats off. What my 40 engineers could not do, you did it. Great. Take it. So now you can mute. I will take you forward. You can mute your mics, please. Somebody's playing with the screen. Wow. So in life, we always have this choice of being on the side we choose to. One is you'll always have this battle will always be there in your life. You'll have this 40% of the crowd, and you'll have a choice of moving out and specializing and standing out as that one person who is really outstanding. And this formula is called the Pareto's principle, which works around in the world, right? This Pareto's principle is called the 80-20 principle, where 80% of the world's population work for 20% of the world's population. 20% of the world's population control 80% of the global wealth. 80% of the people, sales team bring 20% of the business. 20% of the sales team brings 80% of the business, so on and so forth. You can see this working all the time. But also, if you see the world's population, you have 80% of the people in this world who are called the ordinary masses, right? They have a typical lifestyle, they have a way of doing things, they have an attitude, they have a different set of beliefs, they have this very commonly agreeable attitude. And on the other side, you have these people called the very, 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 very ordinary people. They are called extraordinary, right? They have make the 20% of the world's population. They are the one who set the trends. They are the one who specialize in things. They are very different because they do certain things differently. These people, the 20%, don't fall from the sky. They are those people from the 80% who graduate saying that I don't want to be in the crowd, I want to be outside. Today, all the 44 people who are online here have a choice. You can still enjoy to be in the 80% and struggle this life out, or make a conscious decision. Enough is enough. God has given me all the powers to be in the 20%. Let me make that shift right now, right today. I want to be an extraordinary human being, not an ordinary human being. That's a choice. That's an affirmation you need to make for yourself, right? And if you do that, what happens and how it happens, let me take you quickly through to a few things. How people, students, youngsters, 80% of the world's population, how they behave. To gain success in anything, you need to have three aspects. One, for example, if I need success in football, I have to understand football. I have to gain knowledge about football. And then I'll have to also get the skills about football, right? I have to learn the skills. Now, knowledge is just not enough. I have to work it out. I have to practice. I have to get the skills, right? But the third point, which most of the 80% do, is they have a local attitude. They have a very local understanding about everything. They don't want to expand. They don't want to explore. They remain in their comfort zone. That's called a local attitude. This is an old methodology and old success triangle. Now it is redundant. Today's world, this does not have any relevance. So you need to understand that you need to do something differently to be able to move out of the 80% and get into the 20%, right? That's what I'm going to share with you right now. This is a beautiful, quick story which I've cooked up myself. And it's about that woodcutter story, but I've taken it to a bit of advancement. So whether you're cutting trees, or whether you're making a pizza, or you're choosing a career, this example applies to all, right? I've taken the example of three people: one whose name is Hardman, second whose name is Smartman, and third whose name is V-Man. These three people go to a merchant, a person who owns a forest, and he has a lot of trees. So they are all woodcutters. The Hardman, Smartman, and V-Man are woodcutters. They go to this man who owns the forest and tells him, they tell him, we'll cut the trees for you. How much will you pay? So the merchant says, I will first look at you for 1 week. I want to see how you perform. Each of you work individually. I want to see how you perform. I will pay you per tree. How many ever trees you cut, I'm going to pay you so much money. So Hardman starts off on the day one, Monday. He cuts 7 trees, right? Smart man cuts 6 trees, whereas V-Man doesn't start his account. So the merchant or the person who owns the forest is looking at this and saying, hard man and smart man to kaam kar rahe hain, they are working, but this V man looks to be lazy, right? So come Tuesday, hard man, lot of efforts, is managing 6 trees. Smart man, lot of efforts, manages 7 trees. And V man still hasn't opened his account. So the person who owns the forest says, I think I need to kick this V man out here. He's not doing anything. But then he says, no, I've committed for 1 week. Let me have a look. So while I'm giving you this example, try to understand where you fit. Okay. So Wednesday, hard man drops to 5, smart man goes to 8, V man finally opens his account with 2 trees. Now the merchant says, Abba, at least this fellow has woken up, he's done something, let's see what happens. Thursday, hard man, his performance is going down. Smart man, 8. V man, 24 trees. Everybody is shocked. Wow, what's happening? Says, wow, let's look up. Hard man, smart man, looks like smart man has peaked his performance. And then V man, he's doubling it. Can you believe it? And you know what? This entire example is not a fairy tale. This is after looking into the lives of extraordinary people. I formulated this example, and this is very relevant, right? So hard man 2, smart man 8, V man doubles again. What a result! So after this, the owner of the forest calls all the 3 and starts talking to them. He goes, visits them and starts talking. He asks Hardman, what happened? He said, sir, I believe in hard work. I put in 8 hours every single day. So the merchant looks around and says, boy, you did not even sharpen your axe. That's why your performance is going down. You're working 8 hours of hard work and you're not sharpening your axe. You're not sharpening your skills. So Hardman says, if I do that, I'll be wasting 1 hour. That's why I'm not doing it. How stupid, right? He goes to smart man and says, smart man, what happened to you? Smart man says, I work very hard for 8 hours a day and I could do 6, 7, and then I tried sharpening my axe. I sharpened my axe the best, and then I was able to do 8 trees per day max. And that's my peak. I can't do anything better than that. And I'm really happy about it. I'm sharpening my axe for 1 hour, working for 7 hours, and I'm able to cut 8 trees. And then he goes to V-Man and says, what happened to you, man? First 2 days, no performance, and then you're suddenly coming out with some magical numbers. So V-Man says, I am a specialized guy. I've been mentored. I understand the entire life cycle of any project. So the day 1, when you gave me this project, I went and checked out the size of the forest. I checked out how many trees were there. And I found out that it was a huge opportunity. On the second day, I went to the city and town and checked out who's the best woodcutter in town. And I found James. I spoke to James and asked him, how many trees do you cut in a day? He says, I work for 6 hours, I cut 12 trees. I asked James, how do you do that? He says, I don't use an axe. Axe is an old system. I use the chainsaw. I said, really? So I borrowed the chainsaw for 1 hour, came to the forest, and used it for 1 hour. I was able to cut 2 trees. So I validated what James said. So I went back. I partnered with James. I told James, I have an opportunity. You have the chainsaw. You work for 6 hours. I'll work for 6 hours and we'll share the profits. So we came back. He worked 6 hours, cut 12 trees. I worked 6 hours and I cut 12 trees. That's how on Thursday we cut 24 trees. And when we were going back home, we together said that our entire friend circle, family circle, the relative circle, there are a lot of people who do not have jobs. Let's, with whatever we have earned today, let's buy them a chainsaw and try to engage them. So we started engaging people into this huge opportunity available in the forest and started building a team. By the end of Sunday, we have a solid team who are able to work 6 hours each and cut so many trees. The merchant, the owner of the forest, was so impressed. He told Hardman and Smartman to join V-Man's team, made V-Man the manager and the caretaker of the entire forest, and gave him the entire project. This is a very powerful analogy, understanding. If you remember, I put it in this story format so that you remember, right? Because the learning we get out of this is amazing. The learning is one, they don't go for knowledge, they go for specialized knowledge, right? This is very important. Second, they go for specialized skill. He didn't go and find out, he didn't go to an axe shop, pick up the axe. He went to a person who was doing the best and he learned from him. And that guy said, I've stopped using the axe, boss. I'm using a chainsaw. So why not use the chainsaw? Why should you stick on with the axe? Modern world demands you modern skills. Why should you stick on with the old ones? Right? And then they also have this global attitude of sharing, building corporates, building teams. Most of us are not able to think like that because we are very selfish. We don't have a global attitude. We don't have an expansion attitude. We don't have, wow, such a big opportunity. Let me share it with people. We don't like to share. The moment we get knowledge, we keep it to ourselves. We stink. We stink with the knowledge. That's the most, pathetic thing you can do for yourself. So be like the 20%, not like the 80%. 80% are the hard people, hard workers, the smart workers. You have to move much beyond that. You have to move because the world has progressed. So now I'm going to give you this slide, which is very, very important. How the extraordinary people who are the 20% use their time and how the ordinary people use the time. If you have, you can see the circles represent the 14 productive hours. We all have 24 hours. In that, 14 hours are productive. So 14 productive hours. The left side are the extraordinary. The tick mark, the green tick mark, shows the way the extraordinary people use their time. So how do they use their time? The entire that light green segment is the number of hours they spend on things which they can directly control, and they avoid the things which they are concerned about. So if they spend a little time, you can see that red circle. It's a very thin ring, right? That thin ring represents the time they in a day they spend on things which they are concerned about. Bad roads, bad traffic, bad governance is concern. They spend a little time, but they don't spend much. They spend more time on things which they are in control of. For example, they spend time on research. How many of us research in something we want to specialize? How we dig into information, knowledge, try to go online, go to Google, read books. How do we spend that time in research? If you don't research, you're going to be a labor class person working hard all your life. Second, they seek, as I said, seek specialized knowledge and specialized skills. Read. They're voracious readers. People who say reading is a very difficult habit are giving a great excuse to themselves for being ordinary. You can continue to be ordinary. I'm telling you, one of the things which differentiates people who are from the 20% and the 80%, 20% read, 80% don't read. Simple. And they also go out to seek mentors. Different field, different mentor. If I have a field, professional field, I have one mentor. Spiritual field, I have one mentor. In terms of emotional understanding, I have another mentor. We are sick. We don't have mentors. People in the past ages, 100, 200, 300 years ago, they were better than us because they used to have mentors for themselves. Today, we don't have mentors. We don't want to accept mentoring. The other thing is, when you get specialized knowledge and specialized skills, the only way you can do that is spend 10,000 hours. You cannot become a specialist without spending 10,000 hours on a particular specialization. So what you research, what you gain knowledge, what you gain skills, what you read, and how you get mentored should all culminate into 10,000 hours. And these people who are extraordinary spend most of the 14 hours on these areas. That's why they are different. And the other thing is they have a vision for life. They have a purpose for life. They're not drifting. They're not dancing. They're not, going all over the place. They have a vision. On the other side, 80% of the world's population, who are the ordinary people, the ordinary students, ordinary workers, ordinary, class, ordinary masses, what they do, they while away their time on games and things like that, wrong friends, wrong habits. So I'm giving you benchmark to assess your own selves. Wrong friends, wrong habits, conflicts, hearsay means they're so weak on listening. Anybody tells anything, they believe it. Anybody tells anything, they believe it. If somebody comes and says you're an idiot, they believe it. If they say come and say you're good for nothing, they believe it. I mean, who gave you the permission to believe that? When God has given you the status of being a human being, the best of the creation of the universe, and you go and listen to somebody else, wow. And then they have small goals, and they live with small goals. And I'm sure you see a lot of these people, because out of every 10 people, 8 people you experience are these people. So you need to be very, very decisive about this. What you want to do in life, where you want to go, is very, very, very crucial. This is a slogan I have drafted for my own self in life. So I always tell I'm a winner. I will lead and follow. I will do leading. I will follow also. Right? I need to follow. Unless not a good follower, I cannot be a good leader. I will believe, and I will not doubt. I will set new standards. Right? The universe is very big. There's so much more to explore. You should believe that you should set new standards. And then you should believe that you want to make a difference to the world, just not a difference to your own pocket. Right? Such people end up becoming extraordinary. So that's about the content which I wanted to share. I think it's 4:07. I have another 3 minutes to go. Just sharing something very passionate, which I'm a part of, called the United Foundation in Bangalore. When you talk about a vision, the vision consists of a goal which you want to achieve for somebody else. When you talk about goal, usually people talk about material goals, and then it is all selfish, right? When you have a global perspective, your talent, your goodness, and everything should be of use to others. So we have this foundation called the United Foundation, and right now, since the lockdown, we have created a mission in Bangalore called the Mercy Mission, where we have gathered all the NGOs of Bangalore and working under the common banner called Mercy Mission. And currently, we have delivered about 44,000 food kits to the poor people destitute. Over 9 crore rupees we have been able to gather and spend for these people. And we have another 30 to 40,000 kits we are in the pipeline. We're doing it in a very process-oriented way. We've been appreciated by the government, the authorities. Beneficiaries are selected. We've also put up 15 kitchens in Bangalore, which are cooking fresh food and dishing it out to the people who can't cook, especially the daily wage workers. And we call them Mercy Kitchens. Our Tough Mercy Kitchen in one area delivers about 1 lakh of meals in a month. So overall, 25 to 30,000 meals a day is what we are doing. Why am I sharing this with you? Because see, at the end of the day, you and I as human beings, if you're not a part of something noble, then it shows that we are very selfish. We have to be selfless. That's true leadership. And that's what most of the leaders, aspire to do. So you can get in touch with us for any contribution, or you want to set up something like this in Chennai or in some other parts of India, you can get in touch. We have a fantastic process. We can share the entire process with you all, and you can get going forward with that whole thing. You also can, join me in Instagram. My Instagram name is coach_Habib with all small letters. I've just commenced putting up a few things. I'm quite interested in putting a lot of stuff in the Instagrams which can be of use to others. So in case you people are interested, I would request you to follow me on the Instagram and look me up in other aspects. I have some YouTube channels as well, which we are initiating and running right now. So I hope the session within that one limited hour which we had, the session was worth it. Send me your feedback, send it through Saifa TV. These people have been doing fantastic job. I really appreciate Rabik and his team, brother Rabik, and the entire team. Hats off to you for doing this. It's a noble thing you're doing. You're taking good knowledge to people who require it. I appreciate it. I would also send you an endorsement on this, and I hope that we can do much more work together. Thank you so much. If you need me to interact with you for the next 1 minute, I'm open for discussion.
Hello.
Yes, Yasir.
Yes. So, are you looking for any volunteers who can help you with the foundation?
Absolutely. We need a lot of volunteers. You can
Yes.
get in
So,
touch with
I was
me.
I was trying to get in touch with you post our graduation day, if you remember, but I couldn't for some reason. So I was
Where
looking
presidency?
into.
Yeah?
No, sir, St. Joseph's.
Oh, Joseph, Yasir. Okay, Yasir, you have my number.
Yes, sir, I do.
Call me
I'll
after
just.
this. Call me up. I will connect you with somebody.
Yes, sure, I will.
All right.